So I pre-ordered our tickets, our little getaway to the movie theater. You and I, Regan can join us too if he wants to for February 4th, I think it is.
80 for Brady.
80 for Brady, man. I can't
80
wait.
for Brady. Which Super Bowl did they drive to? Where was it?
They say it could be his last one, so I'm guessing it's the Rams one. Where is that? Was that in Arizona?
Might have been. Wherever it is, we should drive to that city and then watch the movie in that city. Just road trip.
I'm down. I'm not wearing a Brady jersey though.
That's too bad. I won't
either. Could it be a top 10 football movie? Not a
Is it going to count as a football movie? I don't know. We got to see it first. I don't know. Oh, man.
I'll probably gouge my eyes out.
I think Brady's popularity is going to hurt the result of the movie, the box office total.
He can only go down from here. Just like Regan's mom.
Maybe.
Welcome to Just the Tip, a fantasy football podcast with your tippers, Matt and Disfatt-Bidge.
These are just our tips, so take them easy, take them hard. It's up to you.
Ryan, the Tagless Haynes.
Most bizarre Haynes Brief that there's ever been.
And Matt, hi, or Regan.
Yeah, I hear you, and I definitely would take the shot on it because he'd be dumb not to.
Coming to you from the heart of New England. Get ready to take some tips.
It's been a weird year for movies. I got to say that. So next year we'll not be starting off on the right foot with that movie. Welcome in, takers, to Just the Tip, a fantasy football podcast, not a movie podcast, but I mean, occasionally we'll give it a little critique. But we are here to get into week 11 of fantasy football, some starts and sits, some news, some injury updates, some playoff schedule outlook. We got to look ahead now. If you are in the playoff run already, you better be looking ahead. If you're just trying to survive week to week, we got some stuff for you as well. Ryan, the Tagless Haynes in the house. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. It's good to see you. You're looking good.
Well, thanks. You don't have to lie like that, but I appreciate it.
The wedding glow, it's still there. It's very nice.
It is. I gotta make sure my passport comes in for the honeymoon, so I'm a little nervous. And I gotta win some championships too to pay for it.
All 10 of them, baby.
I told her how much I invested into it this year, and she was not happy. So invested. That's what it is. It's better than crypto. That's for sure.
Yeah. There you go.
That's a whole debacle here. Oh man! But I am Disfatt-Bidge. I am one of the other tippers, and then IR Regan is out tonight. Medical leave. He's on the IR actually. So no, I'm just kidding. He's taking a little vacation, so much deserved. He does all the graphics and stuff that you see on our socials. Just a Tip FFP, and here on the screen, if you're watching us YouTube, Just a Tip, a fantasy football podcast. You can watch us there, and if you're listening on audio, appreciate a review. Be nice. You know, it can just be simple like, oh, those are some nice tips. 5 stars, preferably though. Something like that. But we have been doing something a little bit new. We've been splitting up the episodes into 3 parts. So it is November 17th when we're recording. Your time is valuable. So down in the description, we got the chapters for YouTube video. And then on audio, we're going to break them up into 3 parts. Going to give the news, injury update in the first part. Second part, we're going to talk about some players on tit, flip, and flop. And then we're going to get into some sexy flexy, some starts and sits for you. Sound good? Good. Right, Ryan?
All right. Sounds good to me. Yeah.
All right, good. I hope it is. All right, good. All right, so what time we're recording? And I'm trying to find. Let's get into your briefs here.
Sweet sassy molassie.
All right, so we got a little bit in the briefs here, which hasn't been the case as of late. But first bit of news came from today. Browns versus Bills moved to Detroit due to a snowstorm. I mean, come on. Like, if it's going to snow 2 feet in Buffalo, that sounds like ideal conditions for a football game. I don't know about you.
They're even saying the snow will be done by the time of kickoff. So it's just logistics, I guess, trying to get teams there and whatnot. Like, they should have gotten there earlier. This is like the 5th game that they've postponed because of weather in the past decade. I don't like it, Ryan. Supposed to play in the elements. I know we're a fantasy football show. We want the points, but still, I like reality football even more than fantasy football. So give us a snowball.
Those are the best. Snowballs are the best. They're like classic games without even like before they start the game. It's a classic if you know there's gonna be 2 feet of snow on the ground.
Does this mean Buffalo's soft?
A little bit. Yeah,
little bit.
I've lost a little bit of respect for the Bills Mafia, you know?
They're definitely going wild.
Cleveland, you should, I mean, if another city should be aware of snowstorms, it's Cleveland. So they should have been able to figure it out. It's disappointing.
Windstorms.
Tornadoes. Put it in a dome. I was like, Gabe Davis, you got to sit him this week. You got to sit him.
I still might. I don't know.
In Detroit in a dome? I'm like, all right, now lock and load.
I guess
Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs. I don't know. We'll talk about that later, but this is disappointing to say the least. Deshaun Watson returns to practice. You pretty pumped?
No, don't care.
Okay, cool.
Did you stash him?
I just traded for him in one league.
Well, super flex, right?
Not in redraft. I didn't stash him in any redraft leagues. Super flex dynasty. Oh yeah, just got him. Got him on the cheap. I felt like Mooney, Algier, one other. Oh, Malik Willis and a 1st-round pick, which for a 27-year-old quarterback in super flex, I thought was a damn good deal.
And before all the suspensions, he was top 5 QB. Like, I don't know why he would trade so cheaply, but good for you.
Hey, that's what I mean, man. I feel like I could get like a Pat Mahomes for that price. That'd be sweet. Andy Dalton, Taylor Heineke, both are named starters this week. New Orleans playing the Rams. The Commanders are at Houston. How you feel about these 2 starters? You liking it?
I'm liking the Heineke one for Terry McLaurin. He likes to chuck it to him.
Heineke. You love him.
I just love his. I love his story. I can't help myself.
You love him. You love Minshew. You love all those guys.
I love those underdogs.
Dalton, the Red Rocket.
I don't like Dalton. No, I want Jameis Winston to play, but they're saying he's not healthy enough to play at all this season, but he's good enough to be the backup. Doesn't make sense to me. Are they just tanking for their pick to be better for Philly? Like, they don't have a 1st-round pick. It makes no sense.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well,
if
you tank, it affects all the other rounds too. You get an earlier 2nd round, you get earlier 3rd round. You know, it's beneficial, later in the draft, not just 1st rounds. But yeah, I don't know. That doesn't really line up to me. If a guy's hurt, he's hurt. He's not like healthy enough to be your backup. I don't understand. Anything else?
I was just gonna say it. The Heineke one, the offense is better for Washington when he plays. So that's good news. Hopefully they keep sticking with him. But it is kind of week to week with him. I think as soon as he has a terrible start and they don't win, they might try Carson Wentz back under center.
Yeah, it's possible. But I'll tell you what, I watched a bit of that Commanders-Eagles game, and he had that offense moving. And it was very smooth. I mean, a good mix of pass and run, a good mix of 6-yard pass, 12-yard pass, 15-yard. There's just mixing it up, play action. Like they had so much momentum and rhythm. It was something that was nice to watch as a Terry McLaurin fan, and having him on a few rosters, it was nice.
Yeah.
All right, college prep.
Let's do it.
And I love college.
All right, number 7 USC 9-1. This is going to be the game of the week for me at least. At
Okay.
UCLA 8-2. So little Pac-12 action, which don't get to talk about them all that much. USC, is it USC and UCLA? Or is it USC and Oregon? I think it's USC Oregon moving to the Big Ten in a couple of years. So you're probably not going to see this UCLA, USC, California matchup all that often anymore. But Caleb Williams, quarterback for USC, eligible 2024. I think I've talked about him in the past. 3,000 yards, 31 touchdowns, 2 picks this season. That guy is on fire. He's probably going to be on the top of your draft boards in fantasy come the 24 draft. So just keep an eye on him. And the running back for UCLA, Zach Charbonnet, 1,100 yards, 1,100 plus yards, 13 touchdowns, 29 receptions. He was kind of like, he predicted at the beginning of the season to be somewhere in the second round of your rookie drafts next year. And now it's looking like he might squeeze himself into that first round. He's balanced. He's doing it both in the passing game and on the ground. 2 players to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I've been looking at some rankings, peeking into them. We're definitely going to have a special episode, hopefully with Jake and some other people to talk about this because trade lines kind of pass for your dynasty picks and everything, but you got to look to the future and in the off season, like, all right, am I moving on from Austin Eckler? Yes, you should. And Antonio Gibson, maybe he finishes strong. You flip him for a second rounder, something like that. So, but this class is going to be great. So definitely going to have to stay tuned for that, takers, so we can get into some more dynasty focused episodes for you. Anything else?
Nope. That's it.
Nice.
Briefs are off.
Thank you for that. Hopefully I can watch some college games this weekend. Be nice. Haven't been able to do that as much.
Watching football 2 days in a row is generally not okay with the wives.
No, it really isn't.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
They're the problem.
They are the problem. Let's just get rid of those. Oh, man.
Think about how much football we could watch. Never let my wife listen to this episode.
They don't listen anyway. We're fine.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Let's get into the Hurt Locker.
My back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
The only time I could use that drop is when Regan's not here. So it's just fine. All right. Let's, you want good news or bad news first? Should we just get the bad out of the way? This really heartbreaking weekend.
Get the bad out of the way.
All right. Bad out of the way, guys. Cooper Kupp. He doesn't even have that in the notes.
It's the worst one.
Ankle surgery. I think it's just don't need to write it down. He might come back for your fantasy playoffs, maybe, but then they're saying 8 weeks. Like, I'm reading conflicting reports, but he's not coming back this season, right?
I don't think so. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on where the Rams are going to be at, but if they keep trending in this direction, my guess is that without Cooper Kupp, it's going to get even worse. So if they're sitting at 5-10 at the end of the year, he's not coming back.
And they have no reason to tank either because they have no first or second round draft.
For what? So like
26. It's like
right.
26, I think, until they have a second. It's ridiculous.
They got to recoup. That's what they're going for. They just want to recoup.
Recoup.
Yeah.
Got it.
Recoup.
Zach Ertz out for the rest of the season with his knee injury there. Very sad. He was tight end 3 on the year. I have the weekly rankings up. I don't have the.
Tight end 3. If you're a James Conner, owner, then you're doing a happy dance this week. He's going to have a lot more opportunity.
Yeah, you hope so. And then hopefully if they get Marquise Brown back soon, he'll get right involved. We'll have to compete with him. Then another one, Dallas Goedert, tight end for Philly. shoulder injury on that face mask play that they didn't call for some ridiculous reason. So he will be out for a while as well. Jerry Jeudy did not practice today. Are we nervous, Ryan?
Yeah, I would be surprised if he played this week. It sounds like it was Achilles or not. I forget exactly what it was.
Yeah, it looked like his Achilles, but it wasn't. It looked like a severe
Okay.
injury, but somehow he was all right, and he's questionable to play
Yeah,
this week.
probably a week off, I would say.
Yeah. Josh Allen, elbow limited, but he played last week. He's playing. I wouldn't pay
He's
attention to
fine.
any
What, he
reports.
throw for 330 yards or something? Like, he's fine.
Not enough, apparently. That was such a great game, though. Corey Davis, knee. Why is this in the notes? Who cares about Corey Davis?
Cooper Kupp,
I'm just
Dallas
kidding.
Goedert, and Zach Ertz. Oh, I guess Zach Ertz is there, but Goddard and Kupp don't make the list, but Davis does.
Corey Davis. I get where he's going with. I'm mind melding with him right now. Garrett Wilson must start without Corey Davis, even against the Patriots. Maybe stick around for part 3. We'll get into that. McCole Harmon placed on the IR, abdomen and illness. Since when does somebody go on the IR for illness? Unless it is that forbidden C word that we can't say on YouTube.
Appendicitis, maybe? Maybe it's a combination of like the abdomen and illness.
I guess so. Poor guy, because CEH had that problem last year too, something with his abdomen, and he lost 10 pounds. It's ridiculous. What's going on in Kansas City? Ew.
It's the barbecue, man. It's really
Bad
destroying
barbecue
them.
sauce. That's what it is. And then Juju Smith-Schuster, concussion, did not practice. I don't think he's playing, which is really sad because you were all about him, and he was catching on fire, man. He was going off, and then that happened. So hopefully he gets well and gets back out there. All right, good news. Zeke, practice limited. Says he's in a good spot. So I guess if you are a Pollard manager, you are really mad. But if you need Zeke, especially for these bye weeks this week, you could use him. So we'll see. Kyler Murray back at practice today, but so did Colt McCoy. They might still sit Kyler Murray. So don't drop your backup QB for whoever you used last week. Any interest in Colt McCoy, streaming him?
How did we just go from Randall Cobb to Colt McCoy? I missed that connection.
Did I mention Randall Cobb?
I think you started with Randall Cobb, and then you started talking about Kyler Murray, and I don't. We'll go back to the tape. We'll go back to the tape. But
we
no,
will.
I'm not playing Colt McCoy. F that. The dude played a Rams team that's all banged up, and John Walford or whatever the hell his name was the starting quarterback. So just 3 and out the whole game.
Good enough. Yeah, you're not playing him, but he still did all right for Hopkins and Connor and Rondell Moore. Jamal Williams for Detroit. He did practice today after missing yesterday. Illness was part of the reason that he was missing this week. So I think we know what's going on here if you are catching my drift. David Njoku, tight end for Cleveland, practice in full. We're starting if he plays against Buffalo or no. Tight ends kind of suck. So I guess you really don't have a choice.
I'd play him. Yeah.
All right. Mark Andrews, limited. Gus Edwards, hamstring, limited for Baltimore. If they are starting, you're definitely starting Mark Andrews, Gus Edwards. It's a crappy week for running backs. So,
and it's a good matchup. Yeah. The Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm playing Gus if he's healthy.
They're playing Baker Mayfield, so they should go up by a lot, and then they should just keep running the ball. So we'll see. Great news here. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both practicing limited fashion, but they're not cleared yet, but maybe soon they'll be. I don't know if they'll play this weekend, both of them. Hopefully Mike Williams, I think, is the last I heard that he's more hopeful to play this weekend. So we'll see.
Don't drop Josh Palmer yet. Don't drop Carter yet. Keep
No.
those guys just for a little bit longer, just until you get an actual word on what's going on with those two.
Yeah, especially Keenan Allen's hamstring, man. Like that can nag all year. And if he re-injures it next week, you might need Josh Palmer through the playoffs for you. All right. I think that will close up the Hurt Locker. Sorry, Regan didn't do as good a job as you do it. So let me
We
just.
tag teamed it.
We did.
We touched our tips and we tagged it.
Now I just want to forget that combination and never open it again.
Holy
Sword
shit,
fight.
there's a lot of news. It's true, the market is becoming saturated.
All right, part 2 here. We are going to get into a little reflection on last week with our calls, our Tippin' Ain't Easy segment. And yeah, a little bit of a rough week. And then we're going to get into some tip, flip, or flop on a few guys looking ahead to their playoff schedule, upcoming weeks. A little context, like if you are trying to get into the playoffs right now, all right, these guys, they have a great schedule leading up to the playoffs. Trade what you can right now. Say you have a really good player like Christian Kirk on bye week, Travis Etienne, and you need a guy that's going to get you into the playoffs right now. You need a win this week. We're going to try to help you out, give you a few names. But last week, Ryan, Regan, you kept on saying Donovan Peoples-Jones, 5 for 9 with 99 yards. So they were down the whole game, except at the beginning against Miami. They started out hot, but then they just got crushed because Tua was amazing. Miami didn't punt at all that game, so they had to keep passing, and that's what you want. He still hasn't scored a touchdown on the year, though. I don't know what's up with that. Donovan,
He's in PPR 10 to 15 points. It seems to be every single week. A lot of garbage time, so that seems to help. A lot of playing from behind, which seems to help. So he gets enough targets, and I think that's it. I think it's just like volume for him, and he's going to get you double digits.
You got to have a better passer coming in soon with Watson as well. So, keep holding on to him.
And please stop trying to trade me 3rd-round picks in Dynasty for Donovan Peoples-Jones. I've gotten so many offers, 2/3, 1/3. I'm like, stop it. He's 23 years old. He's the number 2 wide receiver on the team, and Deshaun Watson's about to be back in a couple of weeks. Stop. I'm not replacing DPJ with a 3rd-round pick. Leave me alone.
I will trade you.
No.
Oh, I'm all out of stuff anyway.
2/3 and a 4th.
I was going to say a player.
Call?
So on the opposite side of the field, well, not the field, but to his right or his left, Mari Cooper said to sit him. He does not do good away games, guys. He's only good at home. Luckily, he has 2 home games in the playoffs, but he's playing Buffalo. Mari Cooper. I can't explain it. He gets less than 10 points when he's away. Just don't play him. You're not going to play him against Buffalo this week either.
Wasn't this the case in Dallas? Why? I don't.
Yes.
I don't. You're still just as fast. In other places, you still are just as good of a route runner. In other places, the crowd really shouldn't be affecting you.
It was.
Why?
We thought it was the weather. Like, all right, he's in a dome in Dallas, and then he goes outside. Maybe that's the problem. Nope. Cleveland's outside last I checked.
And cold.
Yeah, and it's going to be windy now. Bad.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. But then Tom Brady and Godwin finally coming through.
Yes.
Tom Brady's still only just under 20 points, I think. Something like that. Just over, rather. So, not a boom game, but Godwin finally getting in the end zone. So, but how did you do last week?
4-1. I will say my tips on the show were not great. We should start keeping track of this. You guys are smoking me in the risque starts, I'll tell you. Terrace Marshall had 1 catch for 43 yards, so that was a little bit of a downer.
Mm-hmm.
And I said bench Devontae Smith. He wasn't lights out.
No.
But some of the guys I had mentioned, I mentioned Mooney, who only got 9 points. But I did say to start. Yeah, Palmer was another guy who got less points. But, who am I thinking of?
Booney.
God damn it. No, I mentioned another guy, 18 points. I'll think of it.
No.
I'll let you know. But I was 33% right on that.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You
Yeah.
can't get it right all the time. But yeah, I
It's all
hope Regan's friend Derek listened to me and
Yes.
started Terry McLaurin, who did well. Went off. I think he's the leading receiver in fantasy points against Philadelphia. Nobody's even come close. So I don't know. Maybe he's our kryptonite. All right, guys, let's get into some tip flipper flop. So you got to tip the guy, you got to hold on to him, you got to flip him. This is the weekend that you have to trade. In most leagues, not all leagues, but I think pretty much all of ours, it's either gone or it is this weekend. And then you're just gonna flop him. You're just dropping him. Like, he's not even worth it. Maybe you can combine in a 4-player swap, and they want to take the upside with him, but he's not even worth your time. So, tip flipper flop.
Treat me right fucking now.
Let's see. Who do you got first?
Josh Jacobs, definitely a flop. Drop him immediately, especially if you're in one of my leagues. That would be great. Big help.
I will do that.
Josh Jacobs, another big week. 22 fantasy points in PPR and 6 receptions. Had a rushing touchdown. But we talked about it last week. Very difficult schedule coming up in the playoffs. He came off of a rough week last week, so it might have been a little bit harder to trade him. But now we got 2 to 4 days in most leagues to trade. I think you trade Josh Jacobs. I sent a package out, or not a package. I sent a deal out for Debo Samuel for Josh Jacobs straight up. I think upside is about the same. I think Debo, his schedule moving forward in the playoffs, if you're a wide receiver needed team and you're traded to a running back needed team, I think that's a fair deal.
Interesting.
I know you're not high on Debo. I know. I get
it. No, I was in the preseason, but just, I don't know. It seems like it was a little bit of fool's gold last year with all the rushing upside he had, and now they have too many playmakers on the team. Unfortunately,
still getting targets. Last week was the only single-digit fantasy performance he's had all season, and I think if I'm looking forward at the rest of the season, it just seems like who is going to fade away more as we go into the playoffs. And I think there's a good chance it's Jacobs. I mean, he's got some really, really tough matchups in weeks 15 to 17. I think it even extends past that. I think it's like 14, 13 to 17. He's got a really tough stretch. I think he has more of a chance of fading, and Debo probably kind of stays where he's at consistently.
I gotcha. Yeah, trying to bring up his schedule right now. Yeah, playoffs. New England, Pittsburgh, and San Fran. You don't want that, especially San Fran. And TJ Watt back with Pittsburgh. They're coming up. And then New England, usually a good running defense. But, I'm trying to trade, but I have no other running backs, Ryan. I don't think I can trade them, unfortunately. Unless I sacrifice this week and I go for an ETN, or maybe a Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, and another wide receiver. It's like, that's my choices.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You'd have to package them if you wanted a replacement. I mean, I'm not saying just trade Josh Jacobs for peanuts, because the guy, he's performing this year. He's involved in the passing game. So he's probably still going to put up some points in those tough matchups, but at the same time, like, I don't know, it seems like there's going to be a low floor there. And I'd either package him, or if you're running back heavy, get a receiver like Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk, you want to get him? So you're trying to trade for?
I don't know, man. Cake schedule over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Could be very enticing to somebody who's on the edge of the playoffs who just needs to get in, right? But same deal. Very tough matchups come playoff times. He's got week 15, Dallas, week 16, the Jets, week 17, Houston. And I'm not saying Houston has a good secondary, although they've been surprising. Singletary has been, is it Singletary? Singleton? I should know this. Lights out. Number 3 pick in the draft.
Oh,
Has been shutting down everybody. Hasn't allowed a touchdown all season. And I just think the game script for every team going up against Houston is run the football. So he's got those 3 tough matchups in the playoffs. He's got cake up until that point. So yeah, if you're on the outside looking in, acquire him. If not, you might want to look to trade him.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm caught in a league right now where I need to make a move. I'm right in that just over 500, but I'm not liking these playoff schedules. So, but we'll see. Sorry, I'm trying to look up something. But Courtland Sutton, he has one of the best schedules moving forward, but he has been underperforming. Barely a wide receiver 3 for you. Are we trusting his upside? Nobody's really going to give you much for him. But do I trade Josh Jacobs for the upside and him plus another piece of Jeff Wilson, James Robinson? I don't know if you'll get Travis Etienne, but somebody, just a playmaker. I'm not even really worried about the schedule, but
I like what you just said. I like Jeff Wilson moving forward, and I like Courtland Sutton because I was thinking if you had Sutton, you might be able to sell him because somebody's going to look at a schedule and see all of those matchups. Literally for the rest of the season, it's a favorable matchup. But yeah, if you have Josh Jacobs, that trade sounds beautiful to me. Get some depth. Wilson's probably going to be just as efficient as Jacobs moving forward. Nothing wrong with that. I think somebody takes that.
Yeah, Deonta Foreman maybe. I don't know. He's been pretty hot though. But yeah, he has Arizona, the Rams, who are going to be packing it in at the end of the season for sure. In Kansas City, so divisional game shootout. Maybe Denver might turn it around. I know you were high on Russ last week, so we'll see if you are this week too. One guy,
the whole game.
He couldn't.
He had a great first 16 minutes.
One guy I wanted to talk about, Devin Singletary. He's running back 24 on the season. He's been getting into the end zone finally. So this is the guy I'm targeting. If I need to win these next 2-3 weeks to get into the playoffs, he has Detroit next week and Cleveland this week, but conveniently both in Detroit, I guess. And then the playoffs is Miami, Chicago, which is nice, and then Cincinnati. This is the guy I'm targeting. He's only running back 24 on the season. I guess we'll keep going with Josh Jacobs. Do I flip him for Devin Singletary and another flex wide receiver?
I mean, it depends on who the receiver is you're getting back. I've never been high on Singletary. I know he's having a decent year.
He turned it on last year too.
He's
hot at the end of the season.
Matchups. I mean, you got to think with like Buffalo, it's cold, it's snowy, although they moved the game this week. They're probably going to have to lean on the run a little bit more in some of those conditions. But they also just acquired Nyheim Hines. And
yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like you might hit another running back carousel with Buffalo. I don't love it, but it depends on, to answer your question, it depends on who you're bringing in for that wide receiver or that flex.
Just gotta have to kind of shoot high for him. DeAndre Swift, are we worried about him?
Yes. Very, very worried. I don't know what you're going to... I think you said it best, Mac. Did you try to trade him this week?
Been trying. I think I missed the window, but I think a lot of people are scared off from him. But maybe if Jamal Williams doesn't play this week, he can get back into that role. But Justin Jackson had more carries than him. last week. So
I think, honestly, Mac, I think they're being very careful. He's not 100%. They said that they're limiting his snap count. And I think they're sticking to that. There's no reason why they should be forcing him to play when he's not healthy. But since the last 3 weeks, he's had 13 carries for 22 yards.
Yep. But a touchdown in each game, though, right? It's been saving it for okay.
He had a touchdown last game, and he had a receiving touchdown the first week he was back and 5 receptions. But every week he's been back, targets 5, 4, 3. So now the targets are going down. Attempts are really low. I don't like the volume, man. I think it's too risky.
But here's the problem. Running backs are gross this year. It's terrible. We got a random backfield with the Rams. Like, okay, Cooper Kupp's down. So now that means they're going to be running the ball more, right? Who you going to take? Cam Akers, Henderson, Kyron Williams. You got to hope one of them break out down this stretch. I don't know. Tyler Algier in Atlanta with Cordell Patterson. I don't know what to do. And who's the other guy? Craig Reynolds.
Yeah.
In Atlanta.
If you look at like Najee and Jalen Warren and even right now, like I know this is probably one of the best duos in football right now, but McCaffrey and Mitchell, I'm just worried about one of those guys taken away from the other.
Yeah, for sure. Mitchell, I was going to get into later. He had a few more carries, a few more touches than Christian McCaffrey. So are they just trying to save him for the tougher games? I'm not sure. I guess I can't say that Chargers wasn't a tough game, but that's kind of mean. But they didn't really need him. I think they had that game well in hand after the start. So all right. And in Dynasty, if you are not a contender, you have Travis Kelce, you better trade him for the highest price you can right now. Because if I was a contender and I had 2 first-round picks, I would trade them right away for Travis Kelce. So try to get those. Anybody else you're looking to flip in Dynasty,
Jeff Wilson.
We'll say.
We've said his name a million times.
Yeah.
If you are not contending and you have that man in your team, you are dumb to hold him because I don't think the long-term outcome for Jeff Wilson looks great. It's his best value ever.
Yeah. Another guy too would be Deonta Foreman. It's a flash in the pan. He's not going to keep this going. He had some high promise coming out of college and stuff, but after this year in Dynasty, he's running back 39 right now, and people are going to see, oh, wow, he's had a couple over 100-yard games and a couple touchdowns, but that was against Atlanta. He already played them twice. It's not going to happen anymore. And especially in Dynasty, if you are not contending, you don't need this running back. Somebody's going to need that depth. They have Pittsburgh week 15. Okay. Not really liking that with TJ Watt back. Detroit week 16. Awesome. And then Tampa Bay week 17. So, yeah, I'm looking to flip Deonta Foreman right now.
Yeah, that's a really, really good call.
Would you like Josh Jacobs or Deonta Foreman in the playoffs?
I mean, if we're talking Dynasty, you take Josh Jacobs all day. Redraft.
Well, Josh Jacobs.
I still think it's Josh. I still think it's Josh Jacobs. I'm not saying the guy's going to score 6 points in the playoff matchups. I'm just saying
when it comes down to it's not an absolute great schedule for the playoffs, you got to go with the talent, and you can't sacrifice too much. If you feel like that you're getting robbed in the trade, don't do it just to get out of a difficult schedule, quote unquote, because things could change. TJ Watt could go down and Pittsburgh will suck again on defense. We'll see. Anybody else that you want to talk about with trades?
No, I think that's it.
All righty. Let's move on to Sexy Flexy. All right, takers, we're going to get into our sexy flexy here. It's a little start, sit, some streamers. We got bye weeks here. Jacksonville, Miami, Seattle, and Tampa Bay. So some pretty valuable fantasy football players that you have been relying on all year. I was going to say all week, but I'm like, yeah, no. All year. You might have gotten some steals in there too. So these guys, we're not really talking about the obvious players like other shows do that. And we're not trying to waste your time. We're a very serious podcast here. We get straight to business, no fooling around. So let's get into it. So yeah, you're missing Trevor Lawrence and Geno Smith and Tom Brady and the GOAT. I totally messed that up. You are without Trevor Lawrence this week, Geno Smith, and the GOAT, Tua, and Tom Brady. So you don't have those guys, so you need to stream somebody. So, Ryan, I want to play a little Would You Rather on a Would You Rather Wednesday on a Thursday, what is really Friday by the time all the takers are listening. So, without those guys.
Yeah.
You said to start Russ Wilson, dangerous last week. He got you 17 points. That was a 4-point passing touchdown league. So we usually go off a full point PPR and 6-point passing touchdowns. So, but I had to start him in that one, and it was 4 points, and that's what I got. But now he has Las Vegas. And when he played them last time, he was QB3 on the week rather, with no bye weeks. I'm all messed up.
You got your times messed up, man. Your days, your weeks, months,
Ridiculous.
hours.
It's all the
Sleep
time
deprived.
change. Can I still use that excuse? I'm very sleep
Yes.
deprived, actually. So would you rather him against Las Vegas or Jimmy G versus Arizona? Jimmy G, I'm calling him the steering wheel. Did you see that stat the other day? He is. It's a stretch. 10-2 when he does not throw a touchdown.
Yes, I did see that. So, yeah.
Ridiculous.
Good for him, man.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't finished higher than QB9 yet. So who you taking? Russell Wilson with the smash matchup with Las Vegas or Jimmy G versus Arizona. So
You know
should be
where
a
I
competitive
stand.
game. I know. I'm with you too. Russell Wilson, just under 60% rostered. I think he's the best streaming option right now. And then this guy, I think I would take him over Jimmy G, but let me hear your thoughts. Marcus Mariota, he's in my tier 2 right now. He's taking on Chicago, 40% rostered. Just don't watch the game. Please save yourself. But since week 5, he's been QB 13. So if you're getting QB 13 points on a streamer when you're missing your quarterback, I'm okay with that. And if you take away these 4 quarterbacks with this bye week, he's a top 10 QB. So, ipso facto, top 10 QB, Marcus Mariota. It's either him or Daniel Jones, man. 66% rostered. He's taken on Detroit. He's been surprisingly efficient, man. Top 5 in rushing yards, and red zone carries and rushing TDs among quarterbacks. So, I guess with Detroit just selling out to stop Saquon, he rolls out and runs into the end zone a couple times. That might happen. Who you taking?
Listen, I just played Daniel Jones last week. Got me 21 solid points. I was really happy with that. Yeah, I think I got to go. This is tricky. I think I got to go with Daniel Jones against Detroit. I mean, both are fine. Mariota against Chicago. It's in Atlanta. It's in the Dome. That's what I was checking to see if it was in Chicago. You're going to have some weird fucked up weather. You're not going to have that. But yeah, let's just flip a coin. I'm going to say Daniel Jones.
I gotcha. Better matchup against Detroit. I get it. Chicago, they haven't been the best defense either, and they've been scoring a crap ton of points. So you would think game script, Marcus Mariota, he's going to have to pass. They're going to have to come back. Arthur Smith doesn't do that. He wants to establish a run, man. So it might not work out in your favor, but I think Marcus Mariota has been kind of the most inaccurate QB as well. Some sort of stat like that. I think 30% of the passes to Kyle Pitts have been off target. So it's bad.
I'm not surprised.
The longest wingspan, though. It's ridiculous. I dropped Kyle Pitts, by the way.
Desmond Ridder. Let's see him. Come on.
That's just it. What do they have, bye week 14, though? Atlanta? They going to wait that long to put a bid after the bye week? We'll see.
This is too much Atlanta talk.
It is. Moving on. Something better. Matt Stafford, guys, without Cooper Kupp at New Orleans. I'm sorry. You want it better. Zach Wilson at New England. Who you started here, Ryan? All those QBs are off the...
No, I'm leaving the position blank at that point. I'm not playing either of these guys.
You're starting Taylor Heineke, aren't you?
Give me Taylor Heineke. I was just about to say that. Yep. Give me Andy Dalton. Give me...
oh, gosh.
Who else can I take here? Jared Goff. Give me him. Let's go.
Okay. So you would rather do that instead of both these guys? What if I told you that Matt Stafford will do better without Kupp because he'll be spreading the ball around and they won't know where it's going? I have no stats to back up that.
For OBJ, it's like, oh yeah, OBJ is gone now, so I don't know.
Speaking of, are you stashing him if you can? Or are you waiting?
Yeah, if you can. Yeah. Why not?
Jared Goff against the Giants.
No, don't do it. Just don't play any of those guys we're talking
Orleans.
about.
I know.
Do we have to choose between these guys? Aren't there 12 other better quarterbacks playing this week besides Zach Wilson and Matt Stafford?
Zach Wilson, last time we played New England, he was a top 12 QB. He just barely made it in with 355 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 3 interceptions, though. So that's a whole nother touchdown. 6 points right there. If he doesn't throw those interceptions.
Throw the ball to. He's got Swanoric. And
no, I'm talking Wilson. Wilson, not Stafford.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson, not Stafford. If I said Stafford, I apologize. I meant Zach Wilson. If he could put up over 20 points, man, against New England, and I'm picking the Jets to win. So, Stafford has only scored over 20 points once, and that was week 2 versus Atlanta. So yeah, Stafford's out. I don't get why he's like 50% rostered. Running backs, guys, there's not much out there. All of them are picked up, even the handcuffs. So, but you're without Fournette, Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, Ken Walker, Travis Etienne. So they've definitely been your running back 2s on the year. It sucks though, Ryan, running back position, because Breece Hall is running back 20 on the season still, and he hasn't played since week 7. And he only had 13 points that game when he got hurt. So yeah, nobody's taking advantage. But for Washington Commanders, they're playing Houston, and you were talking in part 1 about Houston being good, surprisingly good against the pass. But is it that, or is a running game so bad, running defense so bad, or a little bit of both?
Run defense is probably a little bit of both. Derek Stingley, got his name right that time. Jr. is
gotta get
damn good
that
cornerback. Yep, he's going to be the anchor of that secondary for a long time. And I think it's a little bit of both, but teams just have a run script against Houston. They run the ball 30 times for 160 yards, and that's it. That's the strategy. So Brian Robinson, tee him up. Antonio Gibson, tee him up. J.D. McKissick, tee him up, baby.
Who? What if he doesn't play, though?
No, don't do that. I wouldn't play him anyway. I was just trying to make a point.
I wouldn't either, but I mean, I guess you could if you're really desperate. Tyler Algier or J.D. McKissick. I'm going with Algier. Get the work.
Algier. Yeah, good matchup.
But yeah, you're starting on Brian Robinson, top 10 running back this week. Isaiah Pacheco. I I don't even know how to pronounce it, against the Chargers, or Deonta Foreman against Baltimore. He's at Baltimore. Who you taking? We got Isaiah Pacheco, who's taken the number 1 spot, Ryan. 16 attempts, 82 yards. And the weakness of the Chargers is their run defense. But could it be a shootout? I don't know. And Baltimore's tightened up their D. They are allowing the 10th fewest points to running backs in the last 5 games. So pick your poison. Who you going with?
But you just made a good point. But I'm gonna go Foreman, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Well, I'll get into Pacheco a little bit more later, but I'm just not high on him this week, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Deontay Foreman. Yeah. I was trying to see the passing game usage. He's just as useless in the passing game as Pacheco is, but let's go Foreman.
That's why I'm comparing these two. But in PPR formats, it kind of sucks. But you're definitely going Foreman. He has a better chance of getting over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns with the volume he's getting.
Yes.
But will be more high scoring and a weaker defense against the Chargers. So that's why you could play Pacheco. Rather not, though. Tier 2, Eli Mitchell. We were talking about how he's taken away work from Christian McCaffrey now. When he came back in, he got a full workload back. You want him to get at least 13 carries, and he's doing that. I think he had 18 touches total.
Yep.
Are we worried about Christian McCaffrey? But
I'm a little worried.
Okay. All right.
What were you going to say? Are you happy that he's going to stay healthy, hopefully?
I was going to say, is it quality over quantity for him?
I mean, listen, McCaffrey still had a decent game, 16 points in PPR. But yeah, Mitchell, 18 carries. That takes a lot from McCaffrey. So he was mostly used in the passing game, which, I'm fine with. I just wish he would get more usage on the ground. But yeah, if you're saying Mitchell or Swift, I'm saying Mitchell. I mean, 18 carries compared to Swift's, 5 or 6. I think that's a pretty easy answer.
What if Jamal Williams is out?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know if Swift's 100%, and that's why they're not playing him. Like, if he was 100%, they would play him even if Jamal Williams was there. But he's just, if Jamal Williams is out, I guess I go Swift. Because they're not going to bank on Justin Jackson.
I was hoping you would say that, but Justin Jackson had more carries than them both last week, so I'm a little bit nervous. They're facing the Giants. I think I go Eli Mitchell, just a better offense, better game script, I'm guessing. Especially if they're going to give the work to him. I'm okay with it as my RB2. Desperation guys here. The last one at the bar, you just need to go home with somebody. Who you taking? Latavius Murray for Denver or Jerick McKinnon, hoping to get those PPR points? Split backfield. We see Pacheco taking over. Are we're banking on him getting the PPR points, the little catches out of the backfield, or are we banking on the touchdown for Murray against Las Vegas?
I'm banking on Pacheco. I guess I'll just dive into my point. I mean, on McKinnon. I'm banking on McKinnon over Pacheco, but this is to my point in the risque start sits. I think McKinnon is the guy that's going to be used heavily in the passing game. I think he's also the guy that's used often on the goal line. So if Pacheco is not going to be if he's going to have his touchdown opportunities possibly taken away by Jerick McKinnon, and he's not getting any usage in the passing game, literally 0 targets last week, then I'm going McKinnon. I'm going with the guy who knows the offense, who has the rapport with the quarterback. Just because the Chiefs are within the 10-yard line doesn't mean they're running the football.
No.
You can do some like shovel pass to Kelsey. They're going to do a swing to McKinnon. They're going to get him involved. They're going to do a little Texas route from McKinnon across the middle. But
McKinnon hasn't scored a touchdown since week 2.
8 targets in each of the last 2 games from McKinnon.
Mm-hmm.
No touchdowns yet, though. You're right. 1 touchdown, 1 receiving touchdown week 2.
Yep. So that's what I'm saying. He has 6 receptions in the last 2 weeks in those last 2 games, and he hasn't scored a touchdown since week 2, but that was against the Chargers.
You got me.
I guess we're going there with him. And check out his playoff schedule. At Houston, then Seattle, then Denver. So, I don't know. Houston, Pacheco or him. We'll see who comes out on top. All right. Any other running backs you want to take a shot on, or should we move to the wide receivers?
No, let's get into the wide receivers.
All right, let's start off with some real disappointment. Courtland Sutton versus Las Vegas or Chris Olave. I've been saying Chris Olave is an auto start. And yes, all the metrics you're probably hearing. Oh, most yards run per route. Most targeted runs, most targeted yards per route run, whatever BS, doesn't matter. He's not producing that much. He's been that is Jesus Christ, dude. All right.
Yeah,
104.
we're 104. We're a little off.
I didn't write the notes down for him. I only wrote it down for Sutton. Where am I going with that? Oh, no, I did. Oh, I did. All right, I'm looking ahead. So, Chris Olave, not sure if he can start anymore. He is the wide receiver 20 on the year, but the last few games, we got wide receiver 43 and wide receiver 59, 2 out of the last 3 games. So, but he is getting the 26% target share, and he's second among deep targets. So, I guess Andy Dalton can throw him the ball. They're just not connecting as much. We'll see. I'd rather Jameis Winston to chuck it deep to him, but we'll see. Courtland Sutton might not have Judy at full health. Garbage Raiders. He's been wide receiver 36 points per game. Who you taking? Who you throwing in your flex here?
I think I got to go Sutton, man. I'm just taking my chances with the Broncos. Play the matchup. Play that Raiders secondary is trash. But yeah, I'm going Sutton. Probably here on out, to be honest with you.
Gotcha. Tier 2, Devontae Smith. We mentioned it in the Hurt Locker. Goddard gone. Target's got to go somewhere. Fantasy points, hopefully, to Devontae Smith. They are at Indy, though, and they're pretty good defense. Or would you like DJ Moore? He has Baker Mayfield throwing the ball again, so whippy at Baltimore.
No, we've already seen what DJ Moore does with Baker Mayfield, and that's garbage. So, yeah, you're playing the upside with Devontae Smith with the news of Goddard. Had just had a decent performance. Devontae Smith.
Yep, right on. Yeah, DJ Moore. He had 2 receptions and 4 receptions in the last 2 games, so I'd rather bench him. It really sucks. Hopefully you didn't trade for him after that big boom game against Atlanta, because he can't face Atlanta every week. Tier 3, the new rising star, rising Phoenix over in LA, Allen Robinson. Well, he's actually at New Orleans, so he's coming out of the swamp here. You got to start Allen Robinson without Kupp, get an uptick in targets. He's only been in the top 24 of wide receivers twice, 2 touchdowns on the year, but he has 13 red zone targets, Ryan. So what is it? Bad luck? Bad quality? Is he just not good? Are you willing to flex Allen Robinson, or you're wearing the jersey? I didn't even know you were doing this.
I got the jersey.
Paris Campbell. First time in his career, Ryan, with 3 top 12 finishes. First time in his young career.
You got to play. If Matt Ryan is playing, you got to play Paris Campbell. You have to. He had last 3 games with Matt Ryan, 24 receptions, 203 yards, 3 touchdowns, 32 targets. I mean, what more can you ask for? He scored a touchdown in each of the last 3 games he's played with Matt Ryan. He's becoming his number 1 option. So Saturday's committed to Ryan. What has Allen Robinson showed? He has showed you nothing, absolutely nothing for the last, not just this year, last year too. And guess what? He was the only guy last year too. So I don't know.
It's versus Philly though. Uh-oh. Are we scared of Philly's defense? Darius Slay taking out Paris Campbell, or is he taking out Pittman? I
No,
don't
I
know.
think it takes out Pittman. I think that's the
He's
problem.
going to have to.
I think that's what's happening. I think Pittman is getting some extra attention, and that is opening
Mm-hmm.
up Campbell, and that's why Campbell's able to do what he's doing.
Yep. But yeah, Paris Campbell, he does need the targets. Each of those weeks that he had those finishes, Ryan, he was averaging 10 targets per game. So it's a volume play for him. And we thought that they were just going to run all last week, and they fed him the ball. So it is a little suspect, though, just over the line of scrimmage, just a yard deep, his average route run. So a little bit worrisome, but he's getting targets in the end zone. I'm going to take those chances in my flex every single week.
Take 10 targets anywhere. I'll take 10 targets in the backfield for a loss, as long as he catches all 8 of them. You know what I mean? Scores a touchdown.
Sure. Would you take 10 targets from Jalen Hurts to Zach Pascal at Indy? Would you like those targets?
No,
I guarantee you 10 targets.
It's going to happen.
All right, it's going to happen. Do you want it?
I'm gonna let's wait.
Let's wait. Okay.
Playing Zach Pascal is never an easy decision. It took a while to get Paris Campbell into the lineups here. So
yeah, you were a year early on him, but it's good to see. All right, tight ends. It's tight ends position. If you're playing fantasy football, you're listening to this podcast, you are trying to make the playoffs. You know how it is. So I don't need to explain it to you, but you better start Cole Kmet until he cools off. He had 2 touchdowns last week. So I was talking to a guy at work, and he was just like, who could I pick up to play? And I was just like, listed off the guys that I just assumed Cole Kmet was picked up already. Can't assume it, guys. Got to go check it out.
Absolutely.
Tyler Higbee, I guess because he's going to get the most volume without Cup, but New Orleans is the best versus the tight end. Do you want to play Higbee? He had 3 dud weeks in a row. We said don't play him, and then he goes off last week. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think without Cup, he's gonna get. I mean, you're going for a volume play, and I think that's fine with tight end, even though it's not a great matchup.
Yeah, it really isn't. I try to see if you can play Greg Dulcich for Denver against Las Vegas if you can. Would you play Kyle Pitts versus Chicago, or would you play Tyler Higbee?
I'd probably go Pitts.
Oof, that's the first time you've said that like all year.
Shouldn't have Pitts. He should be on the waiver wire.
I dropped him. Stop yelling at me. Dawson Knox
good
versus Cleveland. You want a part of that?
No,
I don't.
I don't want a part of any of these guys. Like, I
hear me out.
Mark Andrews and T.J. Hawkinson and Dalton Schultz, and I take care of the tight end position.
Yeah, that's why you got to invest that high draft capital in him. What about this guy, Tyler Conklin, 26% rostered? He had 26 points against New England last time.
Yeah.
10 targets, 6 receptions, 79 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Is Belichick going to be like, nope, shut him out? He ain't making the plays, or there's going to be like, yeah, try to beat us with Conklin again. Idiots.
No, I think it's a good play because the Pats won that game. The Jets scored 17 points. They're probably gonna say let Tyler Conklin beat us, and not Garrett Wilson and not Elijah Moore, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I would definitely stream Conklin if you can. Then defenses: New Orleans versus the Rams. They're at home. They get that terrible O-line for the Rams. They just keep getting hurt. Poor guys can't stay healthy. They're going to create turnovers and get lots of sacks. And then, the Jets or New England defense, I don't think you can go wrong either way, Ryan. Mac Jones will turn it over. No. Jets defense is good. And then Zach Wilson, he's got to throw at least 2 picks. Might be a pick 6 involved there too. So why not?
Could be either defense is fine by me.
All right. Let's get into our risque starts and sits.
All we do is sit around here and guess what a bunch of little pricks are going to go and do out there. Then we come back at half time and we complain because they didn't do exactly what we thought they'd do.
All right. So these little outside the box type of thinking. You want to go first, or you know what? I'll read Regan's start of the week here. Let me bring this up. Taysom Hill versus the Rams at tight end. Come on, Regan. He has not been doing well at all. He has 0 points last week, 1 point before that, 8 against Vegas. I don't know about that, Ryan. I don't think I would do that. Let's change that for him. Devin Singletary. Yeah. They're going to lean on the run game a bit more because it's Cleveland. They are not good against the run, and keep Josh Allen safe with his elbow and stuff going forward. He thinks Singletary, he should get more carries. He had 13 last week, getting in the red zone, 2 touchdowns last week. So, yeah, low-hanging fruit, Regan, but I love it. I'm going to trade for Singletary hardcore after we get off of this. Who you starting?
I'm starting Paris Campbell. I already talked about it. I already went through my risque starts and sits. Absolutely 100%. And I love yours. He was my runner-up.
Just reminding him. Yeah, mine is Kadarius Toney. I picked him up everywhere I could. Lots of analysts, though. A lot of Twitter haters on him. I don't really get it. It's a fluke play. Can't depend on him. Trade him while you can, while the hype is high. But you got McCole Hardman on IR. Chargers defense is terrible. Hopefully they're passing a lot. You got an elite quarterback in Mahomes. I've always said that. I never said anything bad about Mahomes in my life.
No, just not at all.
No, never.
Quarterback 7 this year, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, maybe a bit risky because he could just put up 3 points and Travis Kelce get 5 touchdowns again in one night. We'll see, but they traded for Kadarius Toney. Kelce is hyping him up. You see him adjusted his gloves before he made the catch in mid-route.
Yeah,
Kadarius Toney, that's great.
Yeah, that was great.
They're designing plays, even running out of the backfield now without McCole Hardman for the next 4 weeks. Man, he was my sleeper during the preseason, so I think he might be a league winner for you these playoffs.
All right, Regan sit of the week looks like Mark Andrews.
Oof! Well, he just doesn't trust his shoulder.
Tight end 2? I guess not. I don't know. What's Regan thinking, man? He's got, Mark Andrews
and starting Taysom Hill over him.
Taysom Hill? Wow! Come on, man.
All
right, let's go back to what we said. DJ Moore, Baker's back. You gotta sit that guy. I think that's what we're gonna go with. Who are you sitting this week?
I am sitting Debo Samuel. You hinted it at the beginning, but I don't think you knew that this was my guy. He's facing Arizona. They take out the number 1 wide receiver. Is the number 1 Ayuk? I don't know. He's been getting most of the targets lately, but Debo's the better athlete, right? He has the money. They got a game plan for him, and Arizona usually takes them out. I think it's going to be a huge Kittle game and a huge Christian McCaffrey game, and just by default, Debo, he's just not going to be that relevant. So I'm looking to pivot if I can. It might be tough for you, but he's only gotten into he's only been in the top 10 once, and that was in week 4 versus the Rams. So I just don't think he'll be involved more. So it is risque, but I'm looking to sit Debo if I can.
Wow.
Who do you get?
All right.
Put my Tim out on a limb there. Tip on a limb there.
I guess
tying a rope to it and jumping out of the tree, and hopefully the rope's long enough.
Oh man, it's like an old school scene. throw the cement block. Isaiah Pacheco is my sit. So I already went over it. Not enough work in the passing game. We already touched on McKinnon might not be taking away his touchdowns, but the running back touchdowns from the running back position with the Chiefs is not a guarantee either. So there's a good chance he gets you 80 yards again without a touchdown, without a catch. And I don't love that. So I'm playing McKinnon over him this week. And we'll see what happens.
I think I'm playing Pacheco over Swift this week if Jamal Williams is playing.
Yeah, I would do that.
I think that's got me my play. But yeah, I'm not excited. It's just way too fluky, way too random with that offense.
I just want to see a double-digit performance from him first. Dude hasn't gotten more than 6 points. He had the fumble last week too, which negated the 80 rushing yards. So we'll see.
Does that hurt him? Will he get punished? Will CH become relevant again? Spoiler, no, you can drop him. Let's go through the matchups, Ryan. Tennessee at Green Bay tonight. I picked Tennessee.
Same.
How's that working out?
14-6. Henry just punched one in, baby.
Nice. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Trade's paying off. Carolina at Baltimore. Oof, Baltimore.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield, 3 picks. And then Sam Darnold's going to come in and save the day next week.
This one's tricky.
Yeah, Chicago at Atlanta. I'm expecting some high fantasy scoring, not just from Fields either. Definitely some Montgomery points here, but I think I'm going to go with Chicago.
Yeah, I think Khalil Herbert's out, right? So it's going to be the Montgomery
on the IR.
Show. Yeah. So David Montgomery, you're playing him, and I'm going Chicago.
All right. Yeah, Fields, you need to rest your legs a bit. Need you for the playoffs. My playoffs, not your team. You're not making it. Sorry, guy. Maybe next year. Browns at Detroit versus Buffalo. Going Buffalo.
Detroit versus Buffalo. Yeah.
Well, Browns in Detroit versus Buffalo.
Yeah.
It's weird. Detroit at Giants. I'm going Giants. Even though Lions, I don't know, 2-game winning streak, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Rams at Saints. I'm going Saints.
Same.
Oh man, this isn't good. We're pretty much.
I think the Lions, they got a taste of winning, man. They've lost a lot of one possession games, so maybe they figured it out.
It's possible. Jets at New England. I'm going Jets.
I went Patriots.
You have to. Jets have lost like 14 in a row or 15 in a row against the Patriots, so don't blame you. Eagles at the Colts. I'm going Eagles.
Colts, baby. Paris Campbell, Matt Ryan, JT is back. I'm going Colts, baby. Jeff Saturday, get on that train.
Okay. If they beat the Eagles, I will. Commanders at Houston, going Commanders.
I don't know what I must have been drinking. Houston, baby. Davis Mills. Nico Collins. Maybe Brandon Cooks. Maybe.
He should try to get his trade value up for the offseason. Raiders at Broncos. I'm going Broncos. Bengals at Steelers. Man, Steelers kicked their ass at the beginning of the season, right? With Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
Now Bengals don't have Jamar Chase either. This one's tougher than I think people realize. I'm going to go Bengals, though. I think they're just going to split.
Yeah.
Like they
hard. Yeah, I was just about to say that. Hard to beat a team twice. I'm going Bengals.
Cowboys at Vikings.
I went Vikings.
I'm going Vikings. Chiefs at Chargers. Chiefs. San Fran at Cardinals. San Fran.
Yeah, 49ers for me.
All right. I think we only have like one difference, so that's going to be fun.
I know.
We'll see how this works.
It's going to be one of those weeks, man. Chargers are going to win. Steelers are going to win. Texans are going to win. I just changed that back to the Commanders.
Nice.
Yeah, what was I thinking? Not doing that.
Last week was the random one where shout out to Michael winning it again in a tiebreaker. Good for you.
It's 3.
Is that 3?
Three thus far, shooter.
I thought it was only 2, but okay.
Oh, okay.
Might be. Yeah, no,
It
you're
is
probably
2
right.
thus far. You're right. 2 thus far. Yeah. Fuck. Tired. It was a long show.
I've had weeks that he won. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know the quote.
Well, go back and watch the movie. Happy Gilmore. It's been on USA like all week.
Shooter McGavin. He was the sheriff in that new show, The Watcher, on Netflix. It's kind of funny seeing him in a different role.
Nice.
I haven't seen him in years, but
looks like a good show. John Wick, another one.
Oh, dude, that trailer dropped. Can't wait.
Never seen one John Wick.
Never?
I've never seen it. No, I wanted to.
You're missing out. So much action. So many things exploding. It's great. Heads, tips, bobs, everything. And we're done. Good night.
Good night.